Hi, this is Usman, and today we are have a lecture for DNS. What is DNS? What is DNS zone? What is DNS record? One is DNS query and useful command to troubleshoot the DNS resolution. So actually, what is the DNS? DNS as per name domain name system. So DNS resolve the name into the IP, resolve the name into the IP. Like if we put www.google.com, it will go and check what is the IP address for this one, and it will retrieve that website from their IP address, because everywhere there is a public address is required outside now to communicate with the server, and it is very difficult for us to remember this type of IP address. So in human readable form, we have this www.google.com, which is easily to remember as a human. But if we need to remember this one IP, it is very difficult to remember. So that's why this DNS resolve the IP name into the IP address and retrieve that website when we put www.google.com on our browser. So if you see this ns lookup, like I will check for you this in command promote. Sorry, cmd. Sorry, WR cmd. And when I ns look up this one, ns look up www.google.com. So it will retrieve this IP address. This is IP variant 4 address of this one, and this is a public IP address of this one. So actually, this ns lookup command is used to resolve the name into the IP. So it is a DNS query we will send to resolve this name. So the query I will discuss later, but this is one. So this DNS record resolve name into the IP and IP into the name. So remember this one, name into the IP and IP into the name. So we will use this DNS servers in our PCs, where our PC names resolve into the IP and IP and their name resolve into the IP address. So it's like that. So DNS is a domain name system to resolve the IP address into human readable format in order to easily remember. This is for website, but for PCs also, like there is a Aslam PCs or something like that. So we can remember that one. So hope you have idea of DNS name already. So we will now go for DNS zone. There are three type of zones: forward lookup zone, reverse lookup zone, and there is one more. Sorry, I forget. This is stub zone. Sorry, no. Sorry, this there are two only: forward lookup zone and reverse lookup zone. Forward lookup zone change the name into the IP address. So name into the IP is a forward lookup zone. Like if name is www.google.com, so it will be translated to 2123938.120 IP address. So this is actually forward lookup zone. So this zone has information against the name and IP address information he has. So in that one we have three types, like primary zones and secondary zones and stub zone. Primary zone have a primary DNS server. Like if we have a DNS primary means it has it is a first domain controller. It has all information of name into IP. Okay, name into IP. It has all information name into IP. This is a primary, so it is a main zone, primary zone. Like if we have two DNS server, DNS1 and DNS2. So so it has so DNS1 will be our will IP address IP address will be will be primary zone primary zone. Okay. So if we have DNS1 and DNS2, so our primary zone will be DNS1. So DNS1, this primary zone has the information of IP address of DNS1. So this has all the copies of our systems in the computers. So it has a primary zone. Primary zone means all computer information in the primary zone uh, mm, having DNS IP address. So these have DNS1 IP address and also the our computers IP addresses. So secondary zone is have a secondary copy of this one. Like if we have two DNS server, like DNS2 will be the secondary zone. So it has a copy of primary zone. Okay. So if this forward lookup zone, they have the information of DNS2 IP address and also the copy of the primary zone of DNS1. So it has the copy of DNS1. So same way you go to the stub zone. Stub zone has the information of NS server. So stubzone only have the information of NS servers and start of authority. This is actually used for read-only domain controller when we configure read-only domain controller, which do not in read-only domain controller we cannot add a user or we cannot change anything in the users. This is only read-only domain controller and it takes Active Directory from the primary, secondary, or child domain controller. So this is like that. So same reverse lookup zone. Reverse lookup zone is like IP2 name. So reverse lookup zone is primary DNS. So same this primary DNS having primary DNS server and primary DNS IP2 name information. Like all our IP address of the PCs will be resolved to the name in the reverse lookup zone. So they have DNS, primary DNS information also, and they have IP address details of all our PCs also. The secondary zone is the same of copy of IP to name. Okay, and stub zone having same NS servers and starter authority, which is ruled in the domain controller. So what is this? We have two lookup zone, forward lookup zone, reverse lookup zone. Forward lookup zone is used for name into IP and it has other types. One is primary zone, second secondary zone and stub zone. So primary zone have a primary DNS server information. So it has all the IP address, all the name into the IP address information stored in that one. So secondary having secondary copy of primary DNS and it has same name into the IP and it has DNS2 secondary zone as a secondary zone and it has the name into the IP information. And stub zone only have NS and start of authority. So reverse lookup zone has a IP into the name and his primary zone has the information IP to name and it has a primary DNS as a zone. So secondary also like this having a secondary zone. So same stub zone. So hope you understand this zone types. Now we will go to the records. We have records, A records, quad 4 records, and C name, MX records, and text records, NS records, SORs, SRB records, PTR records. So we go one by one. Actually, A record is related to resolve the IP variant for computer in the network. So any IPv4 variant computer in your network, it is resolved by the A records. So A records is a DNS records, which is resolve the name into the IP. And this is AAA records. AAA records is used for if you have any IP variant 6 computer in your network, so it will be resolved in AAA network. Senior record is actually a duplicate name or a child name for our domain controller. Like if we have child.nemc.local in our network, so nemc.local is our main domain and it is child. So also there is a duplicate name we can use as a duplicate name also like example.com, and www.example.com is a C name for this records. So this is a duplicate name that sometimes we have public. This is a public address and this is a local address. Sorry. This is example.local and example.com. We can say that. So example.local is a local domain. It is not a routable domain. So example.com is a routable domain. So it will be the duplicate name for this one. So we will need to add this duplicate name in our DNS record so that our system can access that example.com website if we have purchased that website. So this is MX record, mail exchange DNS record. It shows it is used for sending and receiving the emails. So like this one, POP3 mail.emirates.net.de smtp.emirates.net.de. This is example for that one. So we makes mail exchanging records we need to put in MX records. So this is TXT records. TXT record actually used for security and verification. Suppose if we have purchased a domain in GoDaddy.com for our servers, like nmc.com. So we need to verify this domain that we have on this domain. So we need to generate a TXT record from our local DNS servers and put that DNS records in our GoDaddy.com website. So this will allow us verify that this is our domain and we own that domain. So this is we use when we create the custom domain in Office 365. So we will use that one. So this is NS records. NS records is like a domain controller records. So if any NS records like we have domain controller in our PC, so they have information like that. So information will be like if we have two NS record like ns1 dot nemc dot local, so ns2 dot nemc dot local. So if I have primary DNS server and secondary DNS server, so it has the information of that name into the IP like 192.168.1.2 and 192.168.1.3. So it has that information. As start of authority, actually, who is the servers responsible for DNS records and who is changing in anything in the domain. So of course, this is our domain controller. So it has domain controller IP address information that this is our DNS records who is responsible for start of authority. If we have do primary and secondary, so it has that information, but most probably it has a primary primary start of authority information. SRV records is the service which we are running in our domain controller, like our printer service, DNS service, printer service, exchange servers, or something like that. So which server is responsible for that one? If we have Exchange server, so it has Exchange server records there that this is Exchange server. And if we have a DNS server, it has a DNS server information. If we have domain controller, they have the domain controller information. So this is service record. So which service is running, it will has the information. PTR records is converted reverse IP into the name. So this is a reverse lookup zone type. So reverse DNS lookup. So this PTR records has the information of that one. So then we come to DNS query. There are two types of query, recursive and iterative and recursive. Iterative query, when we send a query to a server and the same server will reply us, then it is a iterative query. Like nslookup.com server reply directly to the name. Like if we have see this diagram, I will show you. This is iterative query. Like this is a root DNS servers, and we requested that one, and the information from this server we retrieve. So only single server has reply all the information from the multiple servers because this server is connected to the root DNS server, TLDNS authoritative DNS server. So it replies from a single server. So this is iterative query. Like we got the information, we send the query to this servers and it gives us all the information that what is your query resolution. Like if you go for nslookup cs nyedu.com from here, so it gives us the information of this one server from via this server. So this is iterative query and it is resolved very quickly because only one server has given us the information. So what is this one? It is sent and the same server will be reply. And same if we see other one. So same server replies. So it will be our like this. So this is the recursive query. So if recursive query, suppose we have this one, like we requested the servers, the query, and it forward to this one, and it then goes to another servers, TLD servers. So and then again server and again server, but it refers to a different servers because it's not this root DNS do not know about this information. So it this is actually recursive because this server handles both TLD DNS and root DNS. So it has all the one way to all that one. But here local DNS do not have directly connection to this one and this one because these servers have a directly connection to root TLD and authoritative DNS. But here, if you see, the request goes uh, one by one. So these local DNS servers do not have the information of TLDN servers and authoritative DNS server. So it has to go via like this. So this is a recursive query. But here in a iterative query, this our local DNS servers has a reachable to root DNS, TLD DNS, and authoritative DNS. But here we have to go first local and then root and then TLD DNS and then authoritative. So this is the recursive theory example. because our local DNS server do not have the reachable to DLD and authoritative DNS directly. So it refers to another root DNS servers. So recursive theory, if we send a query here like ns lookup, so it will refer to another root servers, another TLD servers, which is not which he do not knows. So he forward the query to another DNS servers and then again authoritative servers. But here our local DNS has a directly connection to root, TLD and authoritative. So it will get that information directly. So this is a iterative query and this is a recursive query. Hope you understand. So same this if we send a query, it will forward the query to some other servers. This is called as the recursive theory. The example is like ns lookup child domain controller. It will give the information to nemz.com. So other is we need to know about the DNS resolution commands. So this is actually ns lookup commands. It resolve the name into the IP. So if we put this command here, ns lookup www.google.com. So this will resolve our IP address. Or if we put our local IP address ns lookup nemc dot local. So it will resolve a IP address for us 192.168.1.4. So this is the command for checking the troubleshooting that our DNS is working properly or not. So this command is used for that our IP address is resolving or not. Name is resolving the IP or not. This is IP flush DNS. This is a command used if we have changing anything in our DNS servers. So or we have some old servers caches there. So we can remove that caches. That we remove that DNS information, old DNS server information from the our client PC. So this command is used IP flush DNS will uh, remove that cache of old servers and we can register with new server. IP config register DNS. This is command. It will register the new DNS into the client PC. Like if we have a new DNS servers, so we can register through this command IP config slash register DNS. Hope you understand this all that theories. If you have any question, you can ask me in the comments. Thank you for staying with us. Bye bye.